Hey, Darren here. How you doing? Congratulations. You're only 1 week away from getting your after pictures. I'm super stoked. This email lesson is set up to give you some ideas on how to take the question marks out, how you can do a few things differently this week to make a bigger difference so your before and after pictures are as dramatic as possible. Why is that important? Because I want you to get emotional. I want you to be proud when you see the visual, physical difference in your body. And we want to get the max out of that as we can. And you're going to be really proud of yourself, but also you're going to most likely feel inclined to share your story, your before and after pictures in front of others. Whether it be my private Facebook group, which that's a safe community, and maybe in the future your own social media, at least your friends and family, and maybe even your social media followers and supporters, because they will be impressed and they will come to you and congratulate you. It'll make you feel good, and they'll ask you questions, and you become a purveyor or a leader of other people on how they can change their lifestyle, their body, and their life as well. And that's really important because we want you to continue this journey, and we want you to go to the next level in the future, and this is a small part of it. So what are we going to do this week to make real changes in the after pictures? This week we're going to talk about exercise, we're going to talk about food, and then we're going to talk about a couple little other things that you can do with water manipulation, maybe a supplement, and a couple things that will make a difference this week. Nothing is going to be earth-shattering, but every little thing can add up. So with exercise, let's lighten the weights 10, 15, 20%, and let's go higher repetitions to failure at the end of the set with less rest between sets, maybe about a minute rest between sets, so it's a little bit more of a cardiovascular workout. It's going to be tough, but you can push through. Keep everything else the same, but lighten the weight 10 to 20%. You'll get more repetitions on each set and less rest between sets, about 1 minute rest between sets. I would say keep everything else the same, 2 to 3 sets per exercise. Near the end of the exercise session, I want you to isometrically squeeze and pose the body part that you just got done working for about 3 to 4 seconds. So if you just did a chest, I want you to do like a squeeze of that chest for 3, 2, 1, and relax. If you did biceps, 3, 2, 1, squeeze it. Do about 2 or 3 repetitions after the set. Start the isometric squeezing 2 or 3 times for 3 to 4 seconds, about halfway through the workout. It's going to be tough. Your heart rate's going to be high because of what we said earlier about the lighter weights, more repetition, less rest between sets. But it's a way to really sculpt those muscles a little bit and burn a little bit more energy during the workout and get you in tune with the isometric squeezing after the set. And it can sculpt and tighten up the body a little bit more. So that's really the only other change I would suggest is I would do 2 or 3 interval cardios on either on the treadmill or the bike or the body weight exercises that we showed you earlier in the routine. I think it was week 4. Just do maybe a couple of those at the end of your weight training session. And if it's a day that you're just doing cardio, maybe do a couple extra sets of the interval cardio. And you can even do the isometric squeezing of your body parts for 3 to 4 seconds, 2 or 3 times after your interval cardio. So that's the changes I'd like you to make this week in exercise. With food, we don't really want to change too much. We don't want you to lower your carbs tremendously. We don't want to increase anything. We want to pretty much keep everything the same. Okay? There's nothing that's going to make that big of a difference. By now, you got a pretty good idea of how many carbs you need to eat to have enough energy to get through your workouts, but to continue on getting your weekly scale weight and waistline goal of about a ½ an inch and a couple pounds off the scale. So with the second one, with food, don't make any major changes. Nothing's going to make that big of a difference this week. Just keep it nice and strict. Be prepared with your food. Try to hit all your meals. Bring your food with you when you leave the house so that you don't have to wonder where your next meal is. Okay, the third one, water and sodium manipulation. So what we want to do about 7 to 8 days before the photo shoot, which is pretty much right about now, is we want to put a little bit of sodium, maybe Himalayan sea salt or a little bit of table salt on 2 or 3 of your meals throughout the day. Most of you are eating a lot of non-processed foods. Your sodium intake is relatively low anyway. So we want the body to feel like 7 or 8 days away from your photo shoot at the end of the program. We want your body to feel really good that you have plenty of sodium in your system, so it will just sort of suck that up into the muscles. And but you only do that for 2 or 3 days. So 8 days out, 7 days out from your photo shoot, sprinkle 2 or 3 meals with sodium on your meals. Then after that, when you're 5 days out, 4 days out, do not sprinkle sodium on your food whatsoever. And then the last couple days, I want you to really try hard to go low sodium on your meal choices. No processed foods, and pick meals that are low in natural sodium. And then what we're going to do with the water manipulation is we're going to drink more water than you normally do. It's going to be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but so the process is by getting sodium in higher than the body's used to, is it feels safe that it can let go of the water at the end of the week, and that can make your body show your muscles a little bit more. So in recap, 9, 8, 7 days away from your photo shoot, which is really starting now, sprinkle some Himalayan sea salt or some table salt on 3 of your meals, just a half a teaspoon. Just sprinkle it on any meal. You'll like the taste because you've probably been eating pretty bland lately, okay? And then after those 3 days, on days 5, 4, 3, before your photo shoot, don't add any sodium on your food. And then the last 2 or 3 days before the photo shoot, pick no sodium on your food. And so we want to bring the sodium down real low as we can, just for 2 or 3 days. The body reacts very quickly with the sodium water manipulation. So just the last 2 or 3 days, super low on the sodium, which means none added to any food, and pick natural food that is low in natural sodium. So like if you use a can of tuna, put water in it, and then squeeze out everything so that the sodium is very low. And with water, we want to increase our water. We want to try to get close to 1 gallon a day, starting at when we start this process at 7 and 8 days out. And then on the last 2 or 3 days, to get the sodium down low, let's try to get 1 gallon of water in a day, and let's go with distilled water bought at the grocery store. So that will help us get the sodium down even lower. So the most important days to get the most amount of water in is the last 2 or 3 days right at the end, and it should be distilled water. You want to up that water intake 20% versus what you're doing in the days prior, and the body's going to let go of the water that it's holding between the muscle and the skin somewhat, and it will make a visual difference. So that's the sodium and the water manipulation for this week. Last couple tips and tricks that will work is darken up your skin a little bit. Maybe get a couple tanning sessions in if you don't have access to natural sunlight, but don't burn yourself. If you don't have time to get to a tanning bed or get natural sun, you can use a little bit of a little bit of a fake dye. There's several options out there. Bodybuilders use a fake tan that you just sort of put on like shoe polish, and you can put it on how thick and thin that you want it. It makes a really big difference. So there's 4 different areas that we can make little changes in this last 7 to 8 days that will make a visual difference in your after pictures. So if you have any questions, talk to me in the private forum about this, and I will answer your questions to help you personalize your tricks and techniques this last week to get the best results for your after pictures, so that you can get super excited and get the feedback from other people that they're really, really blown away by how physical you look. In a week, we will talk. I'll come back to you with another email, and I'll give you some things to do with the pictures so that you can know specifically what you're going to do on picture day. So there you go. I'm excited for you. I know that's a lot of information. Watch this video again if you have to take notes, and hit me up in the private forum, and we'll talk about anything that you're not quite for sure about. All right? I'll see you in a week. Keep rocking and rolling. You made it this far. Keep your nose down to the big goal. I'm proud of you. Way to go.